Susan Marrow sat in her room staring at the ceiling as she listened to her friends' voices on the phone. Harper Langley was rambling about some conspiracy theory she had read online. Kathy Simmons was excitedly discussing the latest gossip from school, and Terrence Reed remained silent, only occasionally nodding his head. "Guys," Susan said, trying to bring them back down to earth. "We need to make plans for tonight." There was a moment of silence before Harper spoke up. Why bother? Nothing ever works out anyway. Susan shook her head. "Come on, Harper. We can't just give up without even trying." Kathy chirped in excitedly. "I have an idea! What if we go to that abandoned warehouse down by the river?" Terrence finally spoke up. "Sounds like a plan," he said gruffly. And so, the four friends set out towards the old warehouse. As they approached, they could see that it was surrounded by tall fences and barbed wire. But Susan wasn't deterred. She led the way through the gates and into the dark, damp building. Inside, the air was thick with dust and the smell of decay. The friends made their way deeper into the warehouse, exploring its many rooms and corridors. Harper Langley couldn't help but make sarcastic comments about the place, while Kathy Simmons eagerly pointed out interesting things to look at. Suddenly, they heard a loud noise coming from one of the rooms. Susan cautiously approached, her heart racing with excitement. As she pushed open the door, she gasped in amazement. There, in the center of the room, was a large, glowing crystal. "What is this?" Kathy asked, wide-eyed. Terrence shrugged. "No idea," he said gruffly. Harper Langley snickered. "Maybe it's some kind of alien technology?" Susan ignored her friend's comment and focused on the crystal. She reached out tentatively, touching its smooth surface with her fingertip. Suddenly, a bright light burst forth from the crystal, illuminating the entire room. As they stood there, staring in amazement, Susan felt a strange sensation wash over her. It was as if the crystal had somehow connected to her mind and was transmitting information directly into her thoughts. She could feel herself becoming more and more aware of the world around her, as if she were seeing it for the first time. Terrence noticed that Susan seemed different, almost as if she were in a trance. He approached her slowly, trying to gauge what was happening. Suddenly, he felt a surge of energy coursing through his body, connecting him to the crystal as well. "What's going on?" Kathy asked, sounding worried. Terrence shook his head. "I don't know," he said gruffly. "But it looks like Susan and I are somehow connected to this thing." Harper Langley snickered again. "Maybe you two are just experiencing some kind of hallucination." Susan ignored her friend's comment, focusing instead on the crystal. She could feel herself becoming more and more aware of the world around her, as if she were seeing it for the first time. It was like being in a dream, only this one felt all too real. As they stood there, surrounded by the glowing crystal, Susan couldn't help but wonder what other secrets lay hidden within its depths. She knew that she and Terrence would have to find out, no matter the cost.